Hi, welcome back to Fred in the Shed. I hope you're doing well. Just a CB radio video, this one. Came off by chance, just purely by chance. I happened to have a camera down in the little shed shack. I was doing a shortwave radio receive review, and an old breaker suddenly came on the 305. A guy that I hadn't heard from. Oh, it must be 4 years, something like that. A guy named Steph, and his handle is the Weatherman. Because Steph is into the weather. That's his passion. He's an amateur meteorologist. I think I said that right. An amateur meteorologist who studies the weather. Now in the UK, we get changeable weather all the time. We all love to talk about the weather in the UK because of the Gulf Stream. It's very unpredictable. So obviously Steph takes the weather very, very seriously. So when he used to come on the 305 back in the day, people would invariably say to him, Steph, oh, you know, I'm off next week, mate. What's the weather going to be like? And Steph would come out with this lovely detailed report. Oh, yeah, we've got a high pressure front moving through. We should have some very dry, settled days. You know, plenty of sunshine, temperatures into the low 20s. You should have a great week. And to be fair to him, I mean, I was going to say most of the time, 85% of the time, he was correct. But occasionally, of course, he got it wrong. Even my iPhone gets the weather wrong in the UK. So when you had your week off and then for 3 days it just pissed it down, when he came back on the radio, he got a lot of stick. People would say, oh, bloody hell, Steph, you and your weather prediction, mate, it chucked it down. So people were, you know, a little bit kind of mickey taking. I mean, you stick your neck out on the radio and someone's going to snap it off. And it's all become a little bit of a thing on the 305. What's the weather going to be like, Steph? And if he ever got it wrong, he got a lot of stick. I thought it was a bit unfair, but it's just what it's like on radio when you get guys together. It's the same the world over. And I don't know if it kind of cheesed him off a bit, but he dropped off radio. He just suddenly dropped off. But he wasn't forgotten. And when we had a lot of high winds and storms, because Steph's passion was and still is storm chasing, thunderstorms, high winds. We don't really get any hurricanes or typhoons or typhoons. Is it typhoons? Don't know. We don't really get any really, really bad weather in the UK. We get the occasional like storm come across. But Steph was really handy because you would think, oh, you know, there's going to be some bad weather. Steph, what's the wind speed going to be like? And obviously if it was going to be 80, 90 mile an hour winds, which is rare, but you had the option to lower your antenna so it didn't get snapped off. So we missed Steph. And then every time we got some real changeable bad weather on the 305, we'd say, oh, I wish we had Steph on. We could ask him for weather prediction. So he just disappeared. And I happened to be on the radio just chatting to Dan, and I think Richard was on the radio as well. And then suddenly he came on the side, and it was old Steph. But it threw me because his signal was so much stronger than it was originally. Now Steph lives in Hemel Hempstead. I'm in St Albans. It's not that far away, but we do get a lot of local noise, especially at weekends, bank holidays. So Steph, when he came on, and he bought himself a little President McKinley, a nice radio. I think they're a little pricey, but he came on with a McKinley. But he only used to give me about a 4 to 5 signal. And as I say, on bank holidays, weekends, I can often get maybe 5 to 6 of noise. So I used to struggle with him a little bit. And he threw me because when he came on the other day, this is the clip I'm going to show you, it was a +9, +10 signal. Completely wiped out all of the noise. He was well over the top of it. And it turns out that he's put up a Game Master antenna, and not only that, he's got it up very, very high. He's now 50 foot off the ground, which is quite a height for a Game Master. Now if you don't know the Game Master, it came out in, it's an old antenna, probably the late 80s, early 90s. They're very, very popular. 5/8 wave, uses a sort of flex coaxial cable up the middle of a fiberglass tube. They're very big, they're very long, and the only issue with them is they're quite flexible. So they're made that way on purpose, so they bend with the wind. The only thing, it can be quite alarming if you've got a Game Master up and you've got high winds. They go across all over the place. But they are a good antenna, a classic antenna. And he's got one of those up, and he's got it up really, really high, and he's guy roped it as well in the wind, and it's really, really working for him. So he's getting out one more thing before I show you the video. Steph's got a Facebook page all about weather predictions. That's his passion. If some of you are on Facebook, it'd be really, really nice, and you don't have to, but it'd be nice if you could maybe just use the link in the description, pop over to Steph's Facebook page, just leave a comment and say, hi Steph, saw you on Fred's video, you know, not nice CB, mate. Cheers, buddy. Something like that. I think he would really, really appreciate a little bit of feedback, especially after all the stick we used to give him on the 305. So anyway, here's the clip. This is Steph. I won't be there at the end. So as always, cheers. Thanks for watching the videos. Here it comes.
I was talking to him on a walkie-talkie. See, what was his name?
So we're on the 305 and we've got Dan and Steph on, but I wanted to just have a little chat to Steph, because Steph's just come back on radio after a little bit of a break, and he's got a Game Master, and he's just put it up to 50 foot, and he's absolutely booming into me. So I just was going to ask him about how he's set it up, because he is plus 10 now if I put my RF gain. This is Dan, by the way. So we just have a little chat to him, and then Steph runs a little weather channel on the internet. He's a amateur meteorologist, is that right?
To a repeater, or what's known as a hotspot. And there you go. It's just another way of communicating with other radio users. Back to you, Fred.
Cheers, Dan. That was really interesting with the handheld. Right, I just want to go across to Steph and just want to ask him about his antenna. So, Steph, when you came back on, your Game Master was about 25 foot, but you've got it up to about 50 now. Is that right?
The actual base of the Game Master is up at about 50 feet from the ground. So the Game Master itself is 28 feet long. So I was saying to Dan yesterday, the top of the Game Master is about 78 feet off the ground.
Wow, that really is something. And you said you've got 2 lots of guy ropes to hold that steady, yeah?
Yeah, and trying to explain how I got it up, it's a very, very complicated business, Fred, with slackening the guy ropes off, pushing the mast up to tighten up the guy ropes, and it's just a trial and error procedure and a sequence. So it was very complicated and hard work, and took a long time to do.
Yeah, all copied. I know it's the same with my antenna. I tend to sort of lean mine over, put the bottom in an umbrella stand. I don't sort of like doing it. So you're still using that little McKinley, and you did a mod, didn't you, on that for the audio to give it a bit of a boost, because it sounds really loud.
Yeah, as I say, I've got a little KL 203, and I'm sticking a couple of watts in it, so it's giving me about 50 or 60 watts of power at the moment.
Well, yeah, if I turn my RF gain up, I mean, you're plus 9 to plus 10. But I think you went inside that one, didn't you? Didn't you tweak the audio? Didn't you just turn the audio up on that radio?
Yeah, I have tweaked it on SSB and on FM. I've widened the band slightly on FM, but I've tweaked the modulation on the inside the McKinley.
Yeah, it's always sounded good. They're a good little radio, especially when they've been tuned up. Now you're on, right, so your passion, isn't it, is the weather. We know that on the 305, and we missed you when you weren't on. So you're an amateur meteorologist. That's right, isn't it? So that's what you do. And you've also got a little web page that you update, haven't you?
Yeah, I have a web page on Facebook, and it's called Thunderstorm Enthusiasts. But it covers general weather and anything like that. But mainly it's for warning about storms and gale force winds and anything like that. I'll put warnings up, and I've got about 800 followers at the moment, Fred.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll link that on the video, so everyone that's watching this video, just pop across to Steph's Facebook page and maybe follow him, or just give him a little comment. I think he'd appreciate that. Well, yeah, it's really interesting, Steph. As I say, weather's always interesting in the UK. Well, okay, well, we're leaving Dan out, so I'll go across, yeah, back to you then, Dan.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bones. Yeah, okay. Steph, were you on early this morning at all, or did you not bother? I don't know if anybody be out early on a bank holiday Monday, but did you have the radio on at all this morning, Steph?
Yeah, I was listening, Dan, but there was a certain person on this morning I did not want.
So that is Steph. That's Steph in Hemel Hempstead. I do have his call sign all written down in my book. I'll have to put it up on the screen. He used to be on the 305 a lot, and then he had a break for a few years, like people do. I say he's come back on. He's got his Game Master antenna. He's got it up really, really high now, 50 foot. He's in Hemel Hempstead, and he's running a little bit of extra, a little bit of George Foreman. But he's getting out really, really nice, and he'll be on the Lima Tango net. And like I say, he runs that little weather channel, so there'll be a link at the bottom in the description. Go over there and say hello. He's a really nice guy. Anyway, I'm going to carry on now on with the 305. I won't bore you with too much more CB radio. This is just local CB. We just go on here and we have a chat every day about all sorts, all of our aches and pains, and also different radios that we're playing about with. Hope if you liked the video, there's the fun from Fred in the Shed. Cheers, guys. Stay safe. Catch you on the next one.
Living in a town, or living in a place where there's things blocking your view.
Fred's in the shed where the magic unfolds. Fred in the shed with his trusty CB. He's a friend to the lonely on a frequency.